Hi, I'm Todd Langwell. I'm the flying furniture guy. I have a small shop in Scotia, New York called R&D Wood Shop. Today we're going to do do-it-yourself furniture repair for high-back wood chairs. Okay, so we're going to start with the furniture. We need to check to see what joints are loose first. So basically what you want to do is you want to take the chair, you want to get on it, you want to give it a good check. It's going to tell you what needs to be done to it. You're going to turn the chair over. You're going to take apart the seat. I'm taking apart the screws to the bottom of the seat. They're typically a flathead or a Phillips type screw. One other key point that you want to do, you want to take 1 second and you want to mark these braces on the bottom inside. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It would make it a lot easier when you go to put it back together. You're going to go ahead and you're going to take apart the bracing on the inside. Now these are typically as well Phillips head or flathead screws. You take off all the screws on the side as well. Now sometimes this still is glued in there, or what you would think would be glued in there, but one small tap and it's going to come flying out. Come out that easy. Now when you're taking apart your chair, one of the most important pieces of hammers that you're going to have is a mallet. This mallet needs to be sturdy and firm, but yet give you enough flexibility so you're not breaking anything. And what you want to do is you want to check to see which joints are ready to go. You want to tap all those in line a little bit at a time. Eventually, they'll pop right off. Flip the chair. Yeah, see, it broke apart at the top. All right. Now, even though you might want to take out every single dowel, not every single dowel wants to come out. You give it a couple of taps, it either is going to or it's not going to come apart. You lay that down. You make sure to mark your pieces as you go. Typically, the upper part does not need to be glued, and this one doesn't need to be glued at this time. You want something that you can scrape with. You don't want something that's going to remove too much wood, and that is one of the key parts. You do not want the knife in this angle to remove the wood. You want to scrape a little of the glue if you need to, but really what you want to do is you want to pull that knife towards yourself and remove the glue that way, because that way you're not removing material as far as wood. You're only removing the glue. You want to keep a couple of chisels on hand because the chisels are going to allow you to get right down to the bottom of each of the dowels, and it's also going to allow you to get the glue off the corner where the corner bracing go. And a lot of times you can use straight up as a furniture scraper, or you need to use the chisel part to scrape that big chunk of glue off of there. Now when you use a chisel, you make sure that it's either completely flat or you invert it and angle it to get the glue off. If not, you're going to create more damage. You can use what's called a rasp, but be wary of your rasp because it will take your skin off pretty darn quick. And also, you don't want to take off too much material again. We're being minimalists here with the removal. So you can round it around, take off the glue off the ends, get, 60, 70, 80% without damaging the other parts of the surface, and then come back with either your trusty scraper or a chisel in the upward type positions. And you're removing very, very little wood this way, and that is the key. You want your joints to be as tight as possible when you go to put this back together. So we're going to go ahead and clean out the holes. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you're perpendicular. Give it a little shove, but you feel it grab. That's where you want to back it off just a touch. And then the other side. Okay, so this piece right here is prepped We can go ahead and set this one down. There's another way to clean a flat surface, and I'll show you that on the corner braces as well, is if you have a belt sander, you want to hold it flat, and you want to push it back and forth. That's plenty, see? 80, 90%, all that glue is off of there. All right, so what you want to do is you want to clean off your work surface and make sure that everything is ready to go. And I believe that one of the most important key points for re-gluing a chair is to dry fit the chair. Dry fitting the chair is assembling the chair with a dry fit, no glue, to make sure that everything is in order and that everything is going to go right back together the way that you want it to. Because inevitably a piece is going to be out of place and you're going to be trying to scramble putting it back together with glue on your stuff, and that's not what you want. What you want to do at that point is you want to come up with your gluing scheme, how you're going to glue this together. So you take apart each piece and you lay it down right in the position that it's supposed to go. In this way, it'll ensure that everything goes back together the way that it's supposed to. So you saturate your rags, you wring them out. You don't want them dripping wet, you want them damp enough to where they're going to remove glue, but not so dripping wet that it's going to flow on over everything. All right, you're going to want to put some glue on a pallet. Use a glue that gives you a little bit of work time. Don't do those instant setups, or expandable glues are not a good glue for re-gluing chairs. You want to cover the dowel all the way around and down the shaft, down the side here, glue around this dowel or peg, and then lastly glue in this hole here. And that should slide right into place. If you've done your work right, it should go right where it's supposed to. And since we're at that point, we're going to cover all of this one around the outside edge. And then we're going to put glue inside the holes. Now, a lot of times you do need to give it a little bit of a tap to get it to seat properly. And then a gentle wipe, because you just don't want the glue running down the sides while you're trying to clamp it. That's all. And you don't want glue on the clamps. So I just take 1 second, wipe it as I go. It does make it a little easier in the long run, I think. You want to give them a little tap, get them close, give a little wipe, because what you're looking to do next is to give it a good squeeze, and you want to be sure to see the glue come out of the edges. Now I like strap clamps, but sometimes strap clamps are not the answer. And what you need to put on first is a clamp to get it together. And squish glue right out of the top of it. Look at that. What you're looking to do is to get the glue out of the hole now. And by getting the glue out, you're stopping the hydraulic pressure from pushing that dowel back out of the chair. So really all you need to do is a gentle wipe again. Okay, so you give it a good wipe. You can then take this off. As long as it doesn't expand back across, you're okay. A quick set on here. That looks good. And a quick set here to get it all the way. And what you're looking to do is you're looking to seat the dowel back in its old location. I like to use the straps for overnight because this gives it an opportunity to really give it a good cure overnight, and that's what you want. Oops. Okay. Hook those together. Okay? You want to situate that approximately right over the top of the joint that you just re-glued. Okay? You keep working them up until they get to that point, and then you can really start to crank them down. Now, a lot of times these clamps might be a little bit too much pressure, but you don't want to damage the wood. You can stick a block of wood back in there, but that came out pretty good right there. And then you're going to see glue start running down the inside because now you're really starting to torque on this chair. We'll put one more on the bottom. What happens though is the strap wants to take a downward run down the rung of the chair. So to stop that, you put a piece of wood across there. You'll stop that strap from sliding down the chair. If you sometimes still have a joint that won't go together, after you put a strap on, put this over the top and give it a good crank, and you should be able to get that joint back together the way that was supposed to be. Lastly, we're going to put the corner blocks back in, and we're going to put the seat right back on top of it, and that'll be the last portion. Just go ahead and spread glue liberally on these, and a little bit to the inside. You don't need to over tighten either. You just want it snug is the thing. If the screw is stripped out, take the screw back out, stick in a toothpick or a piece of wood, and put it back in. Once the chair starts to settle and seat, you will sometimes get glue coming down behind the strap. What you want to do is you want to take your wet rag and something real thin, and you want to work it up and then back down to get the glue out of that crack there. Once you get that all set, and we have all the blocks back in, all the screws taken care of, we're going to go ahead and put the seat right on it, okay? Because what this is going to do is this is going to tell the chair where you want it to sit and where the chair wants to sit back on itself naturally. You put the screw right back in place. You don't want to over tighten it, you just want it to sit properly. So you want to get it to that place where it was, and then tighten it down because you just glued the blocks. So you don't want them to come back out with the amount of torque that you can put on this chair. You see the last little bit of glue starting to run out. So you want to take care of that at this time. I'm going to show you something that, I don't know if anybody else does it, but we like to do it here. It keeps the chairs really tight. But what I like to do is I like to wobble that chair because there is just a little bit of play in there. If you have to, you pull these closer or you pull them apart. But what I like to do is I like to get some weight on the chair because that weight, again, seats the chair to its proper location and allows it to settle. So when you take off all the clamps, the chair will be in a natural position in a natural state. I would let that chair dry 24 hours, at least overnight. Give it a chance to breathe. I'd set it in your home 24 hours before you use it as well, so it becomes acclimated to the temperature and the moisture of your own home. You're going to just take off the clamps, take off the weight, and you should be ready after a 24-hour period to use this chair. This is Todd Langwell, the Flying Furniture Guy from R&D Woodshop in Scotia, New York. This was Do-It-Yourself Furniture Repair for high-backed wood chairs.